And for this, I would like to invite on stage Mr. Manish Miglani, who is Head of Payments at Happay. Giving a brief introduction, Mr. Manish is an established business leader at Happay with 2 decades of experience in business transformation and helping CEOs and CFOs meet organizational goals. With this, please welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. It's an opportunity and honor to be in front of all of you. While many of you we have already met during the course of a discussion, and also have invited many of you for a detailed discussion if you're in Bangalore or in Bombay or in Delhi or anybody in the country as we're spread across. We might not have time for question and answers, but we are stationed outside, just next door. Please feel free to reach out to us. We might reach out to you as well. So my topic for the day is B2B payments and beyond. Commercial payments specifically, or payments for that matter, has been in and around for about 20 years or more. Nothing new. But I try and convey some technology aspect which I saw many of the leaders here talk about. Somebody was talking about forecasting, somebody was talking about P&L. How can a procurement team start managing the P&L unless you have visibility of the spends or you streamline the entire process? This is how the payments, or for that matter, commercial payments has evolved. And it has been good, it's just that it's getting better. It started out with corporate cards, moved up to purchase cards, then we had lodge cards. Digital accounts was a great success where no cards, virtual card, you transfer the funds wherever you are across the country at the ease of a swipe. You can use transactions. Of late, we have moved to platforms which gives you complete visibility. You can transfer funds into the vendor accounts, also enjoy the credit line, at the same time, also get rewards. But in the entire scheme of things, the main advantage that you get is the forecast. Which expenses are coming, which expenses are not coming, how do you manage them, which vendors to pay first, because you also enjoy a credit line along with the vendor payments. The key trends that we have seen in business-to-business payments, the shift from manual to electronic process. Now, we have seen a lot of organizations who have invoice coming in, and these invoices are in hundreds and thousands. So what do? We add the beneficiary, somebody is doing that. We add the beneficiary, we transfer to the vendor, they get the funds. We also have OCR now coming in where you scan the check, it automatically populates into your system. The vendor gets added as a beneficiary and you make those transactions very conveniently. Saves you a lot of time, saves you a lot of energy, and becomes more meaningful. B2B spends via cards, digital accounts is growing about 60% because it's more efficient. You have more visibility of your spends. Likewise, somebody in the discussion room also is talking about how analytics is helping you. Right? While follow the money, upload the invoices, all that was happening earlier also. How does, in my view, analytics help you? It gives you visibility again and forecast of where you can cut down your spends, right? And that is more meaningful at some stage for decision makers. APs and ARs, I think we've talked about much in detail, both paying, accepting payments. So this one platform is more of a revolutionary from my perspective, from my era, because one platform, you can use the card, the same platform, you can also transfer funds, right? So you don't have to shift between one platform to the other. Within the same user interface, you can make those transactions. So we went to buyers, we went to suppliers, we understood from them, many of them said, it's better, it's cheaper, it's faster. Suppliers also more or less maintained it was better, cheaper, and faster. I'm not going into the data here, I think it's visible pretty much, but From the cheaper perspective, it's actually 1/3 of the cost you can save, right? As we move faster, some of the misconceptions, again, the commercial payments or business to business refers to a buyer referring to my suppliers would not be willing to accept the card. Suppliers at times think I have not been asked to accept the card because there are charges attached to it as an MDR. Buyers' benefits, process efficiency, reduce cost, drive compliance to policy, improve visibility. I will today touch upon one of the key factors why a commercial payment program or a B2B program does not get implemented and what is the way around it also to some extent. Let's look at case study 1 and how did the B2B payments help the organization. One of the companies in the catering industry we surveyed cited transparency, better control, the removal of time lag in payments, and desire to achieve cost efficiencies as a key driver of implementing a card program. How did that help them? Our old system was inside. We have much better control now. Technology that comes with cards now is incredible, and they have seen immediate benefits in terms of saving cost. Case study 2 has helped the organization in terms of working capital. Now you have a tool, you pay to your vendor, but imagine a scenario within the vendor payments, you also get a credit line. You manage your working capital, you have more liquidity, at the same time, you also enjoy cashbacks in terms of rewards. If the product has been there in the industry for 20 years, there has been technology, there has been benefits in terms of forecast, what could be the reasons why many of the organizations opt out or do not implement them for various reasons? One of them, lack of awareness, lack of fit with standard processes, don't see the major benefit. 17% don't have enough spend that could be paid digitally. 19% concerns about employee spending. And this 19% is huge. When you're giving vendor payments, one of the product, apart from that, if you're giving cards to your employees, you're also concerned about the safety. You're also concerned about the fraud. How do you control? They could swipe it at any of the merchant. How do you control the swipe at a merchant category code? So I will talk about that a little bit more in detail. Too much hassle to change our existing process, don't have the power to implement. It's one of the data points. I'm sure none of them fall here in that category, but it's just one of the data points. Now, let's talk about the 19% where we are concerned about how does an end user, in this case, employee, use the card, right? And how we can control. One, put your robust end-to-end processes, define the policy from an employee perspective, key metrics and exception reports, put a spending limit. An employee who is planning to travel, an employee who is making a large purchase on the behalf of the organization has a limit, cannot spend 50,000, cannot spend 60,000, cannot spend $1 lakh. You have more controls. If it is being breached, there's a red flag. Merchant category codes, controls, you can restrict the purchase at a merchant. You don't want the swipe to happen on an X particular site, example, for advertising, or particular merchant. Pretty much that can be blocked. Real-time transaction reporting. Now through a Happay dashboard, as the employee spends, all of you sitting here, decision makers, have a real-time view of where the spends are happening, at what merchant it is happening, at what time it is happening. That data gets you to the analytics program, gives you view or visibility, who is spending how much, where, what time, can you control them, can you manage them. Block cash access. Many of the commercial programs, one of us also restricts the user to withdraw cash from the card program. Review transaction reports to red flag purchases greater than, we already talked about it. Guide to selecting a provider. If you're planning to implement B2B program or commercial payments program, what would you be looking at? One, coverage. Do they have the distribution? Can they service you? Answer is yes. Do they have the controls? Can they restrict the purchase? Can it be integrated to your API? In Happay's case, yes. Can the reports be reconciled at the end of the year? Do I have data enough to give it to my finance team, can your system talk with the finance team or the treasury team? The answer is yes. Contracting, pretty much yes. Implementation can be implemented real-time fast. So just to give an example, let's say we sign up for this program, you get a Visa card along with the software, and the card can go live within flat 4 hours. If not the physical card, at least the virtual card. That means your decisions to make those purchases do not get hampered. Your card gets blocked. It can be activated again real-time. You lose your PIN, go to the app, and get it activated again. You don't have to depend on the vendor. Pricing, I don't think there'll be a barrier here, because even if you use a credit line and you're spending regularly, we can give you a cashback up to 0.4. Suppose you're spending about 1 crore, you get a cashback of about 40,000 rupees monthly. It's about 5 lakhs on a 10 CR kind of a program. Reporting, all reports can be downloaded for your teams to view, plan your expenses on a real-time basis. Online administration, program support, there's a dedicated team looking into where, what challenges you face. Relevant experience and customer service, some of the key criteria to select your vendor. Coming on to the product as such, Happay Invoice, vendor payment automation, no more payment delays, manage invoice manually is both challenging and time consuming. Takes a lot of manual intervention required. With the OCR coming in, you can directly manage it slightly faster. Simply add your invoice and automate the invoice management, direct bank transfer to your vendors. Net, savings with Happay Invoice is roughly about 38% on compliance, 36% cost per invoice, and 39% on late payment cost. And everything more or less is on the credit model. Our USP is one, the OCR invoice processing. Do not have to upload the check, the invoice in particular. Just upload the check, gets added to the beneficiary, transfer the funds real time. Add advanced analytics and ERP integration. We can pretty much integrate with any of them mentioned here. Modern age invoice payment processes. One, register vendors, upload invoices, approve invoices, schedule payments, and at the same time track where these invoices are flowing to. I think I'm pretty much on time. We can play one more video. Yeah, do we have the video? Yeah. You'll be playing the video? So just to give you a background about Happay in the meantime, the time that we have is, now Happay is part of CRED, right? We were doing fairly well then, we are doing fairly well now, with about 400 members, team members spread across country, about 3 billion transactions that we process on our platform, and spread. Yeah, I think that's pretty much just ending my thoughts here in terms of Happay. So we are present across the country. Have about 6,000 plus corporates, including companies like Tata's, PwC, JLL, and many more. I think there's a gentleman from JLL as well. I need to catch up somewhere he is. So if you're seeing me, we can meet up. Yeah, so that's pretty much here. I really appreciate and thank you for your time. In case you have any questions that I can answer to the best of my knowledge, would love to. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Sure. Yeah, good to see that. Good to see your presentation. It's need of the hour.
Have I charged you post-launch?
Yeah, of course. I just want to know what's the average credit line that you offer to the industries?
Sir, good question. It's purely on the financials and the turnover of the company.
Okay.
But I'm happy to answer this question and take this question forward if you allow, and we can catch up and meet to see where the financials are going, how about the health of the organization. But we are the best in terms of lending. We can lend up to 5 to 10 CSR.
Okay, probably you can mention the range of credit line, but maybe that can be useful for many here.
So range would be anything between 50 lakhs minimum to about 5-7 CR. Minimum. Credit line, the time, okay. So credit period is about 37 days. I'm sorry. Credit period is about 37 days. That means you enjoy a free credit of 37 days. You can use that for your working capital, better liquidity, pay on time, negotiate better rounds of discussion with your vendors for that matter. Any other questions that I can take? All right. So I really appreciate your time. We're just stationed outside. We are pretty much headquartered in Bangalore. Anytime I can be reached on the email. We will try and attempt to reach out to you as well, the ones that we've met. And thank you so much again for your time. Have a good day ahead.
Great. Thanks a lot, sir.